How's it going, guys? My name's Ace. I decided to start a YouTube channel because I like to modify and work on guitars, and I have fun watching other people do it, so I thought maybe some people would enjoy watching me do it. Start my first video, I thought it would be real simple, easy project, like super simple. So I have an SG. It's the first electric guitar I ever bought for myself, Epiphone SG. I've made a lot of modifications to this thing, like a lot of custom stuff. So SG, my mom said that I should name it Bruce because it looked like the Batman logo. So got a Batman strap, and I have a normal bridge on this thing, very normal bridge. And the other day I was perusing, looking at guitar stuff, and I found a new bridge which kind of resembles the Batman logo. So today what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna put this on here and then dust off this guy because I played a lot and I haven't cleaned it in a long time. So let's get to it.
To take the strings off, I just unwind them a little bit and then use normal wire cutters and cut the strings off.
All right, so I got the strings off and I realized real quick, this fretboard, I don't know if you can see, but it's super dry. I have not oiled this in probably 2 years. You know, I got married and stuff. He take time off playing guitar, so I want to give my boy Bruce some new oil for his fretboard. And at Guitar Center, I was talking to the guitar tech there, James. He's a really cool guy, and he put me onto Music Nomad Equipment Care F1 oil. He said this is the best one. This is what he uses when people pay him to work on guitars. So that's what I'm gonna do. It's as simple as putting it on there, wiping it in. If it's super dry or dirty, leaving it for a couple minutes, and then just wipe it off, and it doesn't leave a residue, and your fretboard is hydrated and looks much better.
I'm using a mechanical pencil here to just lubricate the nut with graphite. It's a cheap and easy way to lubricate pretty much any part of your guitar where the strings are gonna touch. I'm going to speed up a lot of the video as we go so that you guys don't have to watch me painstakingly work on this guitar. It's crucial to make sure that you set something on your guitar before using a hammer to pull the wells out so that you don't scratch the finish or the paint on it. The wells had been in so long that a little piece of paint actually chipped off when I ripped it out. There you can see where the piece chipped off. I'm just gonna go ahead and use a marker and just fill in that little bit. Just a regular old Sharpie I had in my shop. Once the well is back in there, you're not gonna be able to see that at all. I use a rubber mallet to hammer the wells in to make sure that I'm not going to hurt the wells or damage the black paint that's on them, which the black is the whole point I got them. If you buy new bridges and parts, they'll come with their own Allen wrench so that you don't have to worry about it.
All right, so got the fretboard oiled, got everything kind of dusted off, and I got the bridge on so far. I think it looks sick. This is very cool. The only thing I'm not totally sure about is that I know that some aftermarket bridges can be made with cheap steel, cheap metals, and actually the original bridge that came on this guitar in the middle of the night one time just broke in half. Pretty crazy. My wife and I thought we had a ghost because I thought someone had just strummed my guitar, but it turned out that the original bridge just right here just cracked in half. And that was the one that actually came with the Epiphone guitar. So I'm interested to see how this one holds up, but for now, I think it's so cool. It looks sick, and now let's get this strung up. I got some Power Slinkies by Ernie Ball. These are the ones I've always put on this guitar. I don't know if you can tell, but purple is my favorite color. A fun thing I noticed actually, so this is my guitar, Bruce, have the Batman strap, all that stuff. I actually wear a Batman ring every day. You can kind of tell. Yeah, I actually wear a Batman ring every day. That was given to me by my special needs best friend. So Batman's not even my favorite superhero, but I got a lot of Batman stuff. So let's get these strings on this bad boy and see what happens. Alright, so an update. It's been a day since I started my project putting a cooler bridge on my SG named Bruce, and I have run into much more than I thought. This very simple project that I wanted to do for my first video is going to be much more intense than I thought. So what happened is that I have an SG special. Usually Les Pauls and SGs, because they're a skinnier body and everything, they do a two-part. So they will have a saddle right here that looks like this for the strings to go over. So they'll have a saddle, and then they will have the bridge sit back here. So the strings go into the bridge, they go up over the saddle, create tension, and that's how you get your action on the guitar and everything. I bought the V, which does not work. So I have this one because with the SG Special, you put the strings in coming from this side and then you wrap it around over the top, and that's how you create the tension. You can't do that with the V1 that I bought. So I didn't think about it, I didn't realize it. So I was like, okay, this just became a huge project. What I'm gonna have to do actually now is that I have to put a saddle on here and then drill 2 holes. So I'm drilling into my guitar with the drill press back here, and put the V bridge down here and then put a saddle. So I bought a saddle came in, here's the saddle that I showed you just right now. Then I ran into another problem. I overnighted it, paid money to overnight it. When you put this on, it's entirely too short because the saddle is more narrow than the bridge. So the bridge is longer. So I was like, okay, so what am I gonna do? Because I don't wanna have to fill the holes, re-drill new holes, then drill 2 more holes. So I was like, well, this one fits. This was all 2-in-1. You just put it through, wrap around the top. I was like, what if I just buy another black one of those, then drill 2 more holes like I thought, and then put the V Batman looking one. So that's what I'm gonna do. So now I have to send this saddle back. I got to get a new one that's coming, that's a 2-in-1. We're gonna drill into this guitar. So this video has become a lot more. If you wanted to see a little bit more intense guitar modding, that's where we are now. So it's gonna be a good time. I'll do that in another day or 2 because it's pretty late, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, we're back. So I finally have the pieces that I need to be able to put the V bridge on my boy Bruce. So what I did is I went and I got a 2-in-1 saddle because just the saddle, like I said, was too short. So I was like, what if I use a 2-in-1 that has the saddle, has the actual saddles on it, And what I'm gonna have to do is that now I have the holes for the saddle, but I don't have holes for the V bridge underneath. So what I gotta do with Bruce is right here, this is where the saddle is gonna go, and underneath I need to drill new holes. That makes me very nervous because this is like my favorite guitar. I love my boy Bruce, first electric guitar I bought for myself. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this neck off. I'm gonna practice on a piece of wood that I have. I just have some scrap wood here in my shop. I'm gonna practice making the holes, making sure they fit. Then I'm gonna measure not twice, not 4 times, but like 6 times to make sure that I have the correct holes and that we can get this on here. So let's get into it.
I know you're only supposed to unscrew by hand on guitars, but I have this small Craftsman electric screwdriver, which is pretty much the same power that you would use on your hand, so I don't strip any bolts.
So to drill holes into Bruce for the saddle, I want to make sure that I get it completely right. I went out, I got the very specific drill bit, I did a lot of research, tested it on a piece of wood, made sure it's a 7/16 inch wide drill bit is what you use to put the wells to then put the bolts for the saddles, bridges and stuff on an SG. You gotta make sure that you look that stuff up, test it on pieces of wood first, because you do not want to drill into your guitar and then realize that you did the wrong size hole. Because if I had done a 1/2 inch or 3/8 inch, it wouldn't have fit. So now what I'm doing is I am creating a little template using the saddle, using these two, I have 3 pieces of tape on top of each other here. I'm trying to create a template that I can then move to the guitar. So I'm gonna mark these, I'm gonna then drill into the marks to create the holes in the tape, and then I'm gonna put the wells in with this piece of just scrap wood here and put the saddle on just to make sure that it actually does line up, it works perfectly, and then I'm gonna move over to the actual guitar. Because, you know, when you're dealing with something that has coats of paint on it and it's not a paint that's easy, like polyurethane, I do not want to deal with putting black polyurethane and clear coat on Bruce just because I messed up a hole. So let's get into making our stencil.
Always wear eye and ear protection when using heavy machinery. I am a terrible example. I am so sorry, kids. I could not for the life of me find my straight edge, so I found the straightest pieces of wood I had.
Okay, so what I've done is I went and I used a straight edge to put these pieces of tape down the side, coming off of the inside of this well and the inside of this well, doing right angles from the pickup, which the pickup is straight, right? It is with the neck. So these are a little skewed, right? They're not perfectly just across the body, they're a little skewed. So I went off the inside of each and I went straight line down, 1.5 inches. And right now, that's where these 2 holes are. So when I drill these 2 holes, it should be a hole 1.5 inches down from this one and a hole 1.5 inches down from that one. Should be perfect. We shall see.
Again, please use eye and ear protection. I'm such a bad influence. As you can see, I'm starting with a drill bit that has a guide pin at the front just to get the holes going. I bought a second drill bit that has a normal beveled end just so I can get the correct depth of the wells. I used drill bit stoppers for this guitar to make sure that I didn't accidentally go deeper than I wanted. These are very cheap to buy. I got them at Harbor Freight for like $7, and they are great. But you want to make sure that you don't use them on the guitar without something covering it, like I had the tape, because it will scuff the paint. I used a drill bit to mark the depth of the wells so I could check them quickly and easily. When hammering in the wells, I used a wooden block with tape on it so that when I'm hammering, I'm not actually hitting the wells themselves and scratching the black paint off.
So somehow I was able to get the holes drilled, and now, boom, we got holes. They seem to be lined up perfect. The bridge goes on, it fits perfectly. Guys, this is the first real hardware thing I've ever done to a guitar that wasn't like just a piece of wood to start with. Very excited. So all we have to do now, put the neck back on and then get the saddle and bridge in there. They have, just little screws that you can just tighten up so that once you put them on there, they're locked on there. And then we just adjust the action, get them strung up, and I got my boy Bruce back and I can play him. Been missing it.
I drilled the screws just into the body so that I could get them all on, and then I made sure that I had the neck pressed against it so I could drill them in the rest of the way. You do not want to over tighten the neck screws. You want them to be snug, but you do not want to strip the wood. I ruined my set of super slinkies, so we gotta go regular slinky on this guitar now, which is pretty much just a gauge down. The tool I'm using to wind the strings on the tuning pegs is a very cheap winder and actually a wire cutter. You can buy it very cheap at Guitar Center.
So for my first video, I thought it would be a very easy project. I was just gonna put a new bridge on here. Turns out I needed to put a saddle, drill new holes. Got a whole big video for my first guitar video, but I'm very excited that this got done. It got done well. Not a lot of hiccups other than, the normal ones of not knowing that I needed this and all that stuff. But very excited, very cool. If you like that, follow, like, subscribe. Yeah, just gonna keep doing this because it's fun, and I hope you guys think it's fun too.